With regard to the Starbucks incident, Philip, poorly handled by the store manager, but I think the Starbucks organization is trying to get to a positive resolution. They've done any number of very good things in the community, but poorly handled by the manager. Police should have never been called, and that those two young guys are owed a big apology, not only from Starbucks, but certainly as a citizen of Philadelphia. I apologize to those two brothers myself.
Again, good evening. My name is Dr. Tammy Jenkins, and I am the proud president of Allentown Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Hoping for spring, I actually like spring. A couple of topics I was asked to talk about tonight are voter registration and voting, community engagement, running for office, and what it means to be a part of a community. First and foremost, you've already passed, certainly if there is a test, you've already passed the first test. You're here, you're active, you're engaged, you want to know some of the things that are going on. It is a pretty crazy environment. Now, I'm not talking about the weather, but locally, regionally, nationally, across the United States of America, these are certainly some very strange times. And again, that to some extent contrasts with the seeming revolving door almost every day of someone leaving the White House either on their own or getting fired or some getting indicted. So it's going around the city with Councilman Anderson. I saw and experienced some things that I'd never seen before, neighborhoods I'd never been to, but I also saw the power of public service. There's only one thing more important than registering to vote, and that's actually voting. That is what changes things, not just being registered. If you don't show up at the polling place, then you really have not registered your view and certainly not your vote. We know from history, of course, that people marched, some were beaten, some were injured, water hoses, dogs, and more. We do what we want to do. We need to start doing what we need to do. It's disrespectful to the history, to the movement, and to the people who gave up so much, risked so much. We have to risk virtually nothing. And I had the opportunity for 7 of my 8 years as mayor, the great honor and privilege to work with a person who in history will be shown to have been one of the greatest presidents of the United States of America, in Barack Obama. 7 of my 8 years I had a chance to work with the president. And even through all the tough times and the recession and all the things that took place during those days, he carried himself every day with dignity, with respect toward other people. He had ideas. He was trying to get some stuff done and make some things happen. It would be, unless a person has, it's a part of their upbringing, or maybe potentially it's a part of their religion, very strongly held beliefs. But it would be very difficult for me at a personal level to be friends with someone who does not vote. We have a democratic republic. We elect folks to represent our best interests and speak on our behalf. We elect people to do a job. Some folks will spend more time trying to figure out who's going to paint their house, mow their lawn, or renovate their kitchen than they would getting information about who's going to represent them in city council or at the mayor's office or the state house or the governor's house or the Congress or the president. I had a lady call my office one time and told me that there was raw meat on her porch. I said, you should go get it off. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, really? You should run for office because it matters who serves. It matters who serves. Even in that little office that I told you I ran, little committee person office in the neighborhood, it mattered. When you have 20 inches of snow on the ground, you cannot give a speech and hope it goes away. Right? You see folks at 3 o'clock in the morning on C-SPAN, they're talking to 5 people back home about whatever it is they're talking about. You can't do that at the local level. Right? When we have these severe weather events and the streets are flooded, you're not making a speech. You're not declaring anything. You're going to be out there with folks with some high boots on, trying to help somebody. Run for office. Because we now see more clearly than ever, elections have consequences. Who's in office actually matters. So I'll go back to what I was talking about before. Now, whether you liked him or not, whether you agree with the policies or not, we were never embarrassed by our most recent president. We never had to wonder every day, what is he going to say next? And Twitter existed during his time, and he had a pretty good following. But we weren't driving public policy. 140 characters, and I mean, wonderful for him. I mean, they expanded to 280. I mean, so what? It's the work of folks, parents and grandparents and others, that allow people like myself, allow someone like Barack Obama, allow whoever's going to be next to take on these duties and responsibilities. Big shout out to Trek from Ground Zero.